Hello, YouTube. We're going to be talking about the mindset that are keeping you capped in your income in your online business. Hello, Instagram. We're going to be talking about the mindsets that are keeping you at an income cap where you feel like you've hit an income ceiling. And maybe you are, I'm just like deciding which camera am I looking at. I think I'll look at the YouTube one tonight. And we want to look at let's look at signs that you're hitting this income cap, signs that sometimes you feel like you're doing everything that you possibly can in your business, but you're not surpassing your income. You're not surpassing the month. Maybe you have like a monetary amount that you keep hitting into. I'm going to explain the kind of psychology behind that. But firstly, like, what does that look like? It looks like, number one, feeling like you're doing absolutely every single thing in your business that you possibly can. You're showing up, you're posting the content, you are trying to refine your message, you are reaching out to potential clients, you are putting up new improved offers, and you feel like no matter what you are doing, you are not surpassing the income that you have been sitting out for the past couple of months. So this can also cause you to feel like you're getting really, really burnt out, that you're super, super tired in your business. And then what starts to happen? We start feeding into this belief system like no one's signing up, or I can't surpass this income, or it's too hard, or I need to work harder for money. And then we get into this burnout phase. And then when we get in this burnout phase, we don't want to do work. We pull back. And this is where I see the push-pull momentum with a lot of entrepreneurs, where they're about to quite literally break through that glass ceiling that they've set for themselves. And like I said, I'm going to explain exactly how that happens. They're so close to breaking through this glass ceiling, and then all of a sudden this self-fulfilling prophecy, these subconscious thoughts come up to the front of our conscious mind, which causes us to slow down, which causes us to manifest a sickness or manifest an extra bill, or something happens in our life where we can't continue to show up in our business. Then we lose momentum, and then we feel like that launch was a flop. We feel like we've failed. We feel like, okay, look at this past month, I've done everything I possibly can, but why didn't I get the results that I envisioned I would? So this is really what an income cap looks like, and something I want you to consider when it comes to shifting your mindset is the unconscious revenue standard. I said that so weird. Standard. The unconscious revenue standard basically dictates what your standard is for the amount of income that you make per month. So if we're looking at this and talking to my entrepreneurs, my online business owners, if we're looking at monthly, like you go month by month, what is the average, the amount that you make every single month, and how long have you been at that amount? Now, if you're watching this live and you're perfectly happy and you don't want to surpass and you're good, then this probably isn't for you. But this is for my entrepreneurs that know they're putting in the time, know they're putting in the energy, but they are not they're not surpassing the income that they desire in their business. This can also, if you're a career person, if you're a career woman, just because my niche is women, so this can also be applied to you. Maybe you always are attracting the same job with the exact amount of salary, or maybe you will get a bonus in your job, and then all of a sudden you attract a bill, or your car breaks down and you have to fix it. So everything that I'm saying, if you have a career, this, like a 9 to 5, this can be applied. But I'm just, for examples, I'm going to keep with online business. Now, determining your unconscious revenue standard is really important to actually start this work, because you can't just say, I want to be making 10K months, 30K months, 50K, 100K months in my business, but not actually know where you stand and what starts to happen in your body. So the methodology that I teach all of my clients is called the WoMastery methodology. There are 3 phases to this: subconscious reprogramming, identity shifting, and regulating to a brand new capacity. I'm going to focus on all of them, but right now I want to focus on the regulating to a new capacity. So this is basically your nervous system, what your nervous system can hold, what you feel safe with holding. So once we start to work out what is my unconscious revenue standard, then you need to understand, okay, this is exactly maybe that amount. Right now, let's just do a nice easy amount. Let's just say you're hitting consistent $10,000 months in your online business, but you have been trying for the life of you to hit $30,000 months. And I use this example because right now I'm enrolling for Become the CEO. Become the CEO is for female entrepreneurs who want to consistently scale to 10 to 30K months, all of the strategies, all of the systems, all of the identity we work can really be taken and be copied and pasted for you to reach a 50K month or a 100K month. So it's a 12-week mastermind. We dive deep into your business. We dive deep into your identity as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, but also as a female, a woman, and your relationship with yourself. And we actually work out, where are you at in your business? How can we get these consistent high cash months? How can we attract the clients that we actually want to work with, that we desire to work with? And then how can we actually be able to set up a business that is, number one, an extension of us, but number two, grants us the freedom that we're looking for? I know when I started this business, I wanted to start it because I really wanted to, number one, be able to work in bed in my pajamas, but number two, be able to book a holiday without having to ask for annual leave. And this really stemmed from like it being in the back of my head, but I remember this one instant when I was a gym manager. And I wanted to go. I was living in Perth at the time in Western Australia, and I wanted to go to Sydney quite literally for a day. So fly in Saturday morning and fly out Saturday night. And from Perth to Sydney, it's like a 5.5 hour flight. And I wanted to do that. And I worked every single Saturday, and I basically had to like beg to get this weekend off. Like I was wanting the whole weekend off, like the Saturday and the Sunday. But then I was like, okay, I will just fly in the Saturday and I'll fly back Saturday night and I'll show up and I'll do my shift on a Sunday. And the shift on the Sunday, I think, started at 7 a.m., 7:30. So, and I remember like basically like begging and trying to like bargain my way to get this leave. And that was part of that really instilled in me. I want to create something of my own so I can have the freedom to just do whatever the fuck I want, to be able to book a holiday whenever I want. In a couple of weeks, I go away for a weekend. Again, I go away for a weekend. It's quite literally, I think, 2 or 3 days. And I didn't have to ask anyone for that leave. I didn't have to, not only do I have the ability to book a flight and have the money to do so, but also I have the freedom to just book. I didn't have to check in with anyone. I was like, all right, I have something to do, a social event on this weekend. I'm going to book a flight and go. And so I know I went on a bit of a rant for there, but one of the biggest reasons I started this business and why I've become the CEO of the 12-week mastermind for female entrepreneurs is really so you can make a business that is an extension of you. The money is a huge part of it. Anyone that says to you, I'm not in it for the money, you're lying to yourself, because of course you're in it for the money. That's how you're going to pay your bills. That's how you're going to, when you get sick, go and pay for the doctor. Well, that's how you're going to buy your groceries. That's how you're going to book a flight if you want to, or pay for your kids to go to extracurricular activities. So that absolutely does matter. But I also want you to create a business that is an extension of you. And so what I was saying, and the reason behind this is because what I'm about to teach you is a big influence inside of this mastermind, and is about understanding how to regulate that nervous system to different levels for your income. So if we're going back to the example of hitting $10,000 months and you feel like you can't get past that no matter what, you need to, number one, look at the average you're making. So we've established that for this example, $10,000 months. And then I want you to look at, okay, what starts to happen anytime I get close to getting more client inquiries, anytime that I post content, anytime that I say I'm going to show up or do this or that, what's actually happening in my body. And then if I actually hit that and I'm going to surpass it, like let's say you hit it on the 15th of the month, and then it gets the 20th and you're about to get a payment for a brand new client, and then all of a sudden you kind of like shrink in yourself, or you feel uncomfortable. And even though consciously you're probably really excited because it's like, oh my God, if I get this payment, I'm actually going to have an $11,000 month, right? You get excited. So consciously, this is what's happening with your behavior. You're super, super excited, but subconsciously, you start, what comes to the surface is those fears that I'm not worthy. I can't hold that amount of money. I don't trust that amount of money. If I earn more than $10,000, my friends are going to judge me. My family is going to judge me. I feel that I am a bad person if I earn any more money than what I'm making. When this comes to the surface and all of a sudden we manifest getting sick so we can't show up, or we shy away from answering the DMs. And so by the time you've regulated your nervous system in a few days to respond to that potential client, they've moved on or they're ghosting you now because your vibration is off. And so we really want to get super, super particular in describing what happens for ourselves on an individual basis when it comes to our unconscious revenue standard and what's actually happening, why we are capping at an income month. And your need, look at all your behaviors. So your behaviors are just a reflection of your subconscious beliefs, right? What are your behaviors? Do you also feel that you're in a really good place with money, but you always need to spend money, or you always need to buy a coffee out? You always need to buy the latest clothes. You will drop money on unnecessary purchases, but the thought of like taking the money from your savings and putting it in an investment account, that freaks you out and you don't want to do it because you want to start the money. Like, what are your behaviors? That's where I'm getting at. So when we start to identify our behaviors after identifying our unconscious revenue standard, we then need to start to make a shift of how can we find safety in our body? What are the small things that we can start to do? And the analogy, I wasn't going to share this, but I'll share this analogy I give to my clients. Your nervous system is like a balloon. So what happens with a balloon? When you start to blow up a balloon, it gets to a certain point where you're like, if I keep blowing, it's going to pop, and you start freaking out and you're like, I don't want to blow this balloon anymore. So what do? You constrict it, you let some of the air out and it gets smaller, and you tie it and you're like, okay, I feel better. It's not going to pop in my face now. Throw that balloon away. The balloon analogy is exactly like our nervous system. Every time you're getting to that point where you're going to surpass that income, right? And this can be used in any place in our life, but because we're talking solely about income here and in our business success and wins, the moment that you're expanding that nervous system and you get to that point where you're going to surpass that income, going back to the example, it's like the moment you're about to go from $10,000 a month to an $11,000 a month, all of a sudden you have the exact same feeling as blowing up that balloon. You start to constrict, you start to freak out. The nervous system starts to subconsciously tell you, that feeds out in your conscious behaviors, hey, this is too scary. We can't handle this. We can't maintain this. We're not worthy of this. Oh my God, like I need to get rid of this. That's when we like can sometimes attract the money. And then all of a sudden we get this random bill, or our car breaks down, or, our family member desperately needs the exact amount that we've attracted because of health reasons. And these are all indications that yes, you can absolutely attract the money and hold that money and see it in your bank account. But again, if you're still feeling like this balloon, like a constrictor, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you will do anything to get rid of that feeling, because we are wired for survival. We are not wired for success. Us as humans, we are not wired for success. We're wired for survival. So if we're in this space where we're feeling really icky, and we're feeling like quite literally what the survival mode our brain correlates it with is a tiger chasing us, if we are feeling that, what actually starts to happen is we constrict and we do anything to sabotage that. So getting really crystal clear on those mindsets around what that unconscious revenue standard looks like for you is so important to realize, and doing a big reflection. I'm getting my clients to do this on the past 6 months of like, what's changed, what hasn't changed, what are the things that you're seeing progress in, what are the things that are just stayed the same. That's when there's a true indication that you have this unconscious standard, whether it's with your revenue, whether it's with your other versions of your success, your health, your relationships. I've seen this time and time again. I've said this for myself. Before I met my current partner, I was attracting the same type of person because I didn't feel safe to attract the type of man that I truly desired. Even though consciously I was like, I want this type of man, I didn't feel safe to hold that type of relationship. So anytime I got close, or anytime it was getting like that, I would sabotage, right? So this can quite literally be used for anything. I teach this in all my containers. It's the WoMastery method. But if you feel like you're at that point and you're like, yeah, every time like I'm about to attract more, do more, like I sabotage, or I have a fear of failure or a fear of success or a fear of judgment, it shows up it also shows up when you dim your light, when you dim what you really want to see in your content as a business owner, when you dim how you really want to be and want to be perceived. It shows up in all of these moments of like, how are you feeling about yourself? It comes down to worth. And so the particular shifts that I want you to start to make is like actually finding places and pockets in your business where you can expand yourself and teach yourself to feel safe, because the way you are currently operating is not going to get you to the level that you want to be. It's not going to get you the income that you want to be. The women that I coach and I mentor specifically in business, the women that are coming in to become the CEO, are the women that are like, I want more than this. I want to live an above average life. I want to live an extraordinary life. I want to make an impact. I want to have a business that gives me time freedom, money freedom, energy freedom. So if that's not you, then this definitely won't resonate. But if that is you, then keep listening and take this on board and go and implement this, go and integrate this. Spoke about this on my story today. There's a big difference between doing the work, but actually implementing and integrating. And this is one of those things. And so starting to shift the way that you perceive yourself, starting to shift your relationship with money, starting to shift what is safety for you and your behaviors. The biggest shifts, the mindset shifts you can make is actually being able to get really curious about the way that you are currently functioning in your business and the things you're doing. I coached someone a couple of months ago. We did a short container. She said to me, it just does not make sense why my results are not where they should be. For the amount of work I'm putting in, for the amount of energetic work, logical work, masculine, feminine energy work, it just does not make sense. And when you and to me, when we unpacked it, it always makes perfect sense to me, because I can see that you have hit this ceiling in your business where you just don't feel safe to attract more. You don't feel safe to be more. You don't feel safe to be seen. What does it mean if you went from a 10K to a 20K month? What does it mean? Like, what's happening in your body now as I said that? What does it mean from going from a 20K month to a 30K month? What does it mean going 30 to 50 and 50 to 100? What actually starts to happen in your body, what actually starts to happen in your nervous system? That is a true indication that something feels off, that all of a sudden it's like if you're feeling a bit heavy, or you feel a bit icky, or you feel a little bit anxious, as that's what you need to work on. Because you can do all of the meditations, the visualizations, the EFT tapping, you can do everything, but if you truly aren't rooted in feeling safe, this again is exactly why the Woman Mastery method comes in 3 phases: subconscious reprogramming, identity shifting, and being able to regulate a new capacity, because this shit works and it's important. But like I said, if you are a female entrepreneur and you want to have consistent 10K to 30K months, you want to hold them, because it's a thing to do it once or twice, but to do it consistently is another thing. Definitely show notes below, Instagram link in bio, or just comment CEO and I can send you the link to join. If you are not a business owner, but you find that you are sabotaging certain areas of your life and you feel like you don't have this clear direction, then comment the word fem or show notes below for my YouTubers, and I will send you the link to my self-paced program, the Fem Club. So the Fem Club used to be my signature program for the past couple of years, and now it's just a self-paced program. It's incredible. All of my clients to this very day, I will refer them to the trainings. I haven't filmed any of those trainings because they're so full of gold. So if you're not a business owner and you want to look at and understand your self-sabotaging behavior, get yourself in that. But I hope that you got so much from this live, this mini training of understanding like the shifts that you really need to make to surpass where you currently are when it comes to your income. And any questions, let me know in the comments, YouTube, or just slide into my DMs, Instagram. Bye.